What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is the Tool Fiend. We're taking a look at two sets of adjustable sliding pliers, or like most people like to call them, channel lock pliers. Both of these are 10-inch pliers. We're going to be doing a comparison on these two, being as they look identical. So let's get started. So the first set, I have a USA made Mac model 430G, and then I have a China manufacturer of Doyle. Harbor Freight carries those. So which one is which? I'm sure you guys could tell if you were here in person, sitting them down and looking at them. They do look an awful lot alike from what I've read other places, forums, and whatnots. Seen other videos, other YouTube videos too, saying that Doyle is an old Mac patent, which, sitting here looking at these, or if you guys have these at home and you have sat them side by side, it's pretty close. And there is differences in them, and price point wise, the Mac ones are $40 online. Unfortunately, from what I've seen online, they say it's no longer, they no longer carry them. So uh, I got these. Actually, these are a coworkers of mine that he got through warranty. So I don't know if it's one of the last ones or what, but so he got those ones. I bought the Doyle ones because I thought they looked just the same, so I borrowed them to do this video. So $40 for the Mac. Let's take a look at the Mac real quick. So these are the Mac, made in USA. These are the Doyle, made in China. So price point again, let's see. We got $40 on these, and let's say they're $8.49. So let's say 9. So a $31 difference. So what makes them $31 more? And you know, if you really look at them closely, there is a couple things on here that I've seen so far that would make them $31 more. So, and you know, $31 isn't a bad thing, especially if you're one of those people who really likes the USA made stuff. I am kind of one of those person or people. I do buy China tools and Taiwan tools just to have and use and see how they work. So I'm not against them at all. I do like Mac products. So with that said, let's take a look at what the difference is of these, where what makes $31 difference. So first off, I would say the finish of these has a nice grind to it. They seem to smooth it out. It looks a little bit more industrial. A big thing is with this is the gap in here isn't very big. It's maybe, I'd probably say about 3/16 of a gap. When you turn it, these, I don't know how well it's going to show up or how well you guys can see it. These, the jaws seem to line up pretty well, and there's not a whole lot of wiggle. There's a little bit of wiggle in them, but nothing too crazy. The rivet on this looks like it was machine done. It's nice and uniform. So the other side, I mean, it doesn't really look any different, but they obviously put the rivet through, punch it down. So the hand dipping on these is identical. It goes down. It doesn't come up as high on these as it does on the Doyle. The main thing with these, I mean, well, you can see the stamping and everything, where I don't think these are, it looks like they're stamped out of a mold or however. I'm not really sure how they're made. So, but the main thing with these is why I would pay $31 more to have these ones is this right here. So let me see if that will focus. Let me see. Okay, that right there. See that guy right there? See how much that grabs on the jaw when it moves? It's like it's all the way on that tooth. So that is definitely, that gives you way more of a bite, way more like stability when it bites down. Another thing, when you slide this, if you try to do it fast, you have to you have to look for your channel. You know, it doesn't just kind of fall in. Now let's open this guy all the way up, and let's look at that. It has a nice defined edge on it. Let me see if I can get that any closer. It has a nice defined edge on it, so that way it really slides into its groove, gives you a nice good bite. The teeth on these, rest assured, I've already looked. They're the same number of teeth. They're almost identical when it comes to that. The thickness of them here are about identical. So these look like they've had some sort of bead blasting or something on it to give it a little bit better finish. So, but other than that, I mean, the $31 for me just for the bite alone would do it. The one thing I don't like about these is they have a real defined edge that you can just about cut your finger on. So that I wouldn't mind them smoothing that down just a hair, you know. But other than that, I mean, that doesn't really matter. Them sliding on the floor and being put to use will round them out a little bit, or you could just do it, you know. So it's not that big of a deal. So you saw the bite on that one. You saw how this worked. See how many times see how it locks up like that, so it's not just jumping right into the groove, you know. It actually has a little bit of like, hey, I need to be in the correct channel before I go through, because that's the way I want to work. So let's look at those again. 40 bucks, USA made, Mac. Let's look at the Doyle. So gap on here is a little bit bigger. I'd say it's probably about 1/4 of an inch. So it's not a whole lot bigger, but it is bigger. So with that, let's look at the rivet. The rivet looks like somebody smacked it with a hammer. So it's got a little bit of a flat spot to it, not as nice. The finish on these is a little more smooth. It's not so industrial. You can't really, on here you can kind of feel your thumbnail dragging on these. It's super smooth. You're not hitting anything. The edges are a little bit more smooth, so that's kind of cool. But the stamping looks just about the same. It's a little different. These guys have that extra little piece inside there. I'm not really sure why. These ones don't. So biggest concern on these is the tooth. And let me see if that will focus. Come on. Right. Just about. Right there. So that tooth is huge, and it's not. You can see a gap in there. I mean, it's pretty bad. Let's open it up and look at the other side. See how much bigger that is? It's just pretty much like here's a little tooth to make sure it goes into the other teeth and gives you somewhat of a bite. Let's do the test. Look at that. This thing drops in just about anywhere you want to go. So there's not really any rhyme or reason to it. It's definitely, let's see, it's got the same amount of wiggle. It's got a little bit more. The teeth or the jaw just doesn't line up. You have to manually push it over and hold it, otherwise it makes it even worse if you go the other way. I'm trying to get that so you guys can see that gap. See that gap right there? Let's see if I can hold them next to each other. Yeah, that right there. There you go. Look at that. The Mac one just eats the inside of that, and the Doyle one does not. So that in itself, I mean, other than that, look at the tops though. They're just about, I mean, the finish of these, the overall finish of them isn't as good as the Mac, but you know, I think these would be great. I own these. I use these at work, not these specific ones. I have a different set, but they work okay, and I'm not against getting the Mac ones. Now, being the Mac made in USA ones, I'd like to do another video with these up against the Mac made in China ones, and then we'll really see. Because again, if these are made in China and they're $9, and the other Mac ones are made in China and they're not any better than these, then why are we spending more money? Because of a name? Maybe. That's for some people. That's not for me. So I don't like to do that. If I'm going to pay for the name, I want it to actually stand for something, and I want the tool to reflect the price. So I'm not just trying to throw money at the tool truck so they can make a better living than me because I'm getting Harbor Freight tools with someone else's name on it. I'm not into that. So all said and done, I mean, I they're both pretty decent pliers. $40 for the Mac, 9 for the Doyle. Can't really go wrong either way. I mean, you could buy both of these and have less than you would buy a Snap-on one for, or other brands. I just said Snap-on because everybody knows Snap-on, but both of these you could have a set at home and you can have a set at work, or vice versa, or whatever. Whatever you like to do. But all said and done, I mean, these don't seem like a bad set of pliers up against these, being as they are, let's say they share a patent, or not share a patent, but they're an old patent. They are definitely lacking on the fit and finish and the overall quality, let's say. But I know Doyle, I mean, Doyle seems to be a fairly decent brand that most people have not stood behind because they haven't been around very long, but all the reviews I've ever read on any of Doyle's stuff, it always people seem to like it, and nobody really knows what the longevity of it's going to be because they haven't really been around that long. I mean, not nearly. Mac Tools is how old, compared to Doyle's, let's say at the most, what, 5 years? I don't even think that. So we don't really know. I mean, if these are still holding up, tip top in 10 years, then good for me, and I scored. But I kind of, the way with this is with that tooth and stuff, I don't see that. I see that wearing down only a little bit, and then it losing any kind of grip, and it's going to start slipping. So $40, $10, or not even $10. What is it? $8.49. So $9 and some change. So you guys do the math. You guys make the decision. It's not, I'm not here to say I prefer one over the other. I mean, I guess in my personal opinion, if I was to buy one and really want it to perform exactly the way I want it to perform on this one, my opinion is I'd go with the Mac, and that's only because of the tooth or how the teeth are set up. Other than that, they look identical. Once they get dirty and messed up, no one's gonna, especially once they're both laser etched. So that laser etching's gone. You're not gonna be able to tell the difference of them other than the tooth, and if you're weird like me and look at little tiny things like that. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys own either of these tools, if you use them in an industrial setting or a mechanical setting that isn't at home, and you actually use these for a living, how they've held up, and what you guys think. If you think Mac is the superior, if you think Doyle is superior, if you think one or the other is trash, let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram at the Tool Fiend, and let me know what you guys think. So until next time, till we get another couple pliers, what I'd like to do is do maybe a set of the Mac, the Doyle, and maybe a set of Tecton. So Tecton's, I think, somewhere around the same price. It's probably a happy medium, and they're USA made as far as I know. So I'd like to do a set of those. So stay tuned for that video, and until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks.